Mama's in the living room watching Judge Judy. I'm in the kitchen eating leftover sushi, and she yells, "Oh, girl, you gotta hear this one." A man was arrested for running the theme park, and when they said, "Where's your license?" he said, "My dog gave it." Oh, you can't make this shit up. Sometimes I wonder if life's just one big cosmic joke. It's like she's on a Reddit, reading r/funny lawsuits, yelling from the couch. As she sips on a Prosecco, makes fun of all the weirdos, and then I hear her shout. Shout. It's like she's on a Reddit, reading r/funny lawsuits, yelling from the couch. As she sips on her Prosecco, makes fun of all the weirdos, and then I hear her shout. Girl, you gotta hear this one. Mama loves to laugh at how absurd life is, says it's all a comedy and I'm her audience. And I love the way she makes fun of the world. She said, "You'll never guess what's with their girlfriend. It was a man who didn't get us out of the bed. He said, I've been through hell and now I need some help. You just can't make this shit up. You just can't make this shit up." Sometimes I wonder if life's just one big cosmic joke. It's like she's on a Reddit, reading r/funny lawsuits, yelling from the couch. As she sips on a Prosecco, makes fun of all the weirdos, and then I hear her shout. Shout. It's like she's on a Reddit, reading r/funny lawsuits, yelling from the couch. As she sips on a Prosecco, makes fun of all the weirdos, and then I hear her shout. Girl, you gotta hear this one.
All caps means you're either panicking or trying to represent yourself in court. Both are mistakes. Your feelings are adorable, but they're not admissible, persuasive, or even interesting without evidence. Yes, Heather hates immunity doctrines. It's a personality trait at this point. You don't need to remind her, she wakes up angry about it. Bring receipts. No, I heard it from so and so. This is quid pro quo, not next door. Screenshots are statutes only. Don't fight each other. Fight the law. It deserves it more. If you're offended, excellent. That means you're awake, paying attention, and probably new here. No diagnosing the host. She's petty, not pathological. And don't diagnose anyone else. Stay in your lane, please and thank you. Do not summon the mods. They're tired, hangry, and may bite when provoked. Disagree loudly if you must. The algorithm eats drama for breakfast. Just keep it cute while you argue wrongfully. If you're taking screenshots of my chat, touch grass, tell your handlers. I said hi and find a hobby that isn't me.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It is Wednesday. We were going to talk about another case today, but my petty side is taking over, and the case we were going to talk about is just sad and makes me angry. This one, the pettyverse, needs to be enacted. So gather round, my petty pretties, because today we have a petty one for you. We're diving into two filings that basically say, nice try with that bankruptcy shield, but the law is not your emotional support shih tzu. Try again another day. Michelle Preston files for bankruptcy. Okay, fine, life happened. But then she apparently thinks this means the entire lawsuit just freezes in time, like she pressed pause on the remote. Meanwhile, the defendants are over here like, no ma'am, I don't think so. That's not how any of this works. And they dropped not one, but two memorandums explaining it. Slowly, with citations. Thank you, Randy. Because apparently we're doing legal education for beginners. The first filing says, yes, Hales can still pursue sanctions because let me translate legalese. You started the fight, so you don't get to run away and hide behind your couch of bankruptcy and that petty, pretty blanket of bankruptcy and pretend you're invisible. And the second filing, oh, that one's even spicier. That one says, court, can you absolutely keep pushing forward on the motion involving my favorite ghostwriter and my favorite mystery man who can't hide anywhere with that schnoz, Bruce? I definitely did not practice law here, so he can stop asking Matzkin because he's not in bankruptcy and therefore doesn't get to hide under Preston's blanket of security. And the court can still ask Preston questions. Just, not the kind that drain her organizational chi. No. Apparently, I'm too petty for the little princess here. These filings basically hold up a giant neon sign that says, automatic stay, not a force field, my friend. So let's get into this. Grab your emotional support pitchforks, those little shih tzus or whatever the hell you're using for emotional support animals these days, and let's dive in. How is everybody doing today? I'm a little petty. I'm a little petty. There are people in this world that think I am a nice person. I really appreciate you guys, but when pushed far enough, your girl can turn on the petty. And I have a plan. I have a plan to be the most petty princess on the fucking internet. So if you think you can out petty me there in my pettyverse, try me, bitch. All right. Starting off with a Pacer fee fund. Thank you, Annie, for the Pacer fees. Pacer $5 super chat. Pacer fees still suck. And Annie, thanks for the $20 super chat. And Little Bananas fund. Thank you. We went shopping this morning. It was 3 containers of strawberries, and the bananas looked like crap. So hope everybody is doing well. Hung Hero, thank you as always for the 20 gifted Squid Pro Quo memberships. And I did see who got them. And yes, y'all say I saw some of the chat. There are quote unquote trolls, but I am never going to stop someone who doesn't agree with me or isn't on the side of Pacer or isn't on the side of what I agree with or where I think the facts fall from listening to me or subscribing to my channel. And if any of y'all have a problem with that, sorry. Sorry. Because I am never going to live in an echo chamber because no, that's our society right now and it sucks. And there's a reason our society sucks is because we live in echo chambers and I choose not to. And secondly, I am never going to stop someone from subscribing to me and helping me with ad revenue and feed my family. So once again, I might not always agree with what people in my chat or that subscribe to my channel do or say, but that's their prerogative, not mine. And Hung Hero, why are we yelling? Because it's my prerogative, damn it. It's my channel, and I'll cry if I want to. And Hung Hero, thanks again for the $2 super chat. It's Squid Pro Petty is what it is. It's Squid Petty Quo. And Robert Ward, thanks for being a member for 4 months. Hello from Kasha and Rob. Hi, Kasha. I love you guys. All right, so we are just going to get into this. Once I shut off this massive, crappy overhead light, because your girl has a freaking migraine today, which is one of the other reasons we're talking about this. I know we were planning on talking about that Michigan case. However, I did receive an email from the county clerk last night referring my email to somebody else to help me. So I'm going to give it a couple more days to see if I can get the actual documents from the court clerk before I talk about it. Because, yeah. Plus, I'm feeling petty today, and that was not a petty case. That was I want to do some evil things that'll get me yeeted off of YouTube kind of case. All right. Let me turn off this overhead light real quick because the little likes to turn it on. and we will get started. I hope everybody is doing well. Thank you to all my lurkers. Yes, remember, even trolls pay you by watching. Yes, and that's my point. I am never going to agree with anybody 100%. Even people who I consider really good friends of mine, I'm like, we don't always agree. Mr. Squid and I don't always agree. Because if you always agree with everything everyone does, you're either brainwashed or stupid. Sorry. I don't mean to be rude, and I would like to think that I am neither. Although I have my moments. Thank Ung Hero for the $2 super chat. Preston's debt is over the roof. I actually said that to someone the other day. I can't remember what I said, but I was like, I said something and I said over the roof after it. It was like merch idea. Wasn't it singer Leslie Gore saying, "It's my party and I cry if I want to"? I'm not sure if that's what she sang, but she also did sing that song at the end of Second Wives Club that they sing. That is one of my favorite songs. I just can't remember what it is at this particular point in time. Hey Noni, de-lurking. I appreciate all the lurkers. Yeah, boomers. Yeah, people need to realize my channel is my decision. And it's one of those things of like, I have no problem with people being in here that I disagree with. Half the time, I'm not going to lie, there's 159 people in here right now. And I want to say on certain motions that I've read in these cases, about 100 of you disagree with me. And you know what? That's okay. Because at the end of the day, neither one of us are the judges, so it ain't our decision. You know? But yes, we have the ability to have different opinion and disagree is what's missing in today's society. And I'm just here to bring that back. It's going to keep me posted when you do the Jessica Park case. Chat, you're going to want to tune in for that case. I did get an email response from the court clerk last night saying she referred my email to someone who could help me with the documents. I have not heard from that person, so after the stream today, I'm just going to shoot that person an email or just respond to the clerk because she CC'd that person, just to make sure that my name stays on the forefront of their brain without being completely bothersome, if you know what I mean. But because she responded to me means I have a better chance of getting a hold of the documents than I ever thought possible. So I'm going to give it a couple more days. So I didn't file for bankruptcy. Yes, I filed bankruptcy. My mom died. My mom didn't die. Okay, I know we all laugh at the my mom died, my mom didn't die thing, but I've literally had patients tell me I died, but I didn't die. So like it sounds funky, but I know what she meant. Because I've literally had patients tell me that exact phrase. So what do I got for you? Oop. Yeah, you don't own me. There we go. Thank you. Thank you. That's the one. All right. So today, first one we have up, these are in the thumbnail case. And there's two of them, both filed by Randy. Both are quite a little sassy from what I've skimmed. Like I said, I don't read these completely. I skim and go from there. Didn't everyone, I don't know. Opinions are like noses, not as big as BBB. Everyone has them and what makes the world go round. Yes. And I generally won't ever make fun of someone's appearance, but Bubbles is a particularly interesting brand of when you talk about my child, which some people have gotten mad at me because this is the reason I'm going to call her out by name, Lady Tammy. Sorry, I'd have nothing against you, but you're the one who called me out for this and said that I should never talk about this case because I'm not friends with Jeremy and I'm only talking about it because of Bubbles. I was going to stay out of it because I was under the impression from the very start that everybody sucks. There's not 100%. nobody's 100% innocent in any of this. There are things everybody on all sides have done that I'm particularly not a fan of. But I know my petty side, where Bruce talked about my child choking on an Apple Pencil, and I'm still convinced if Bruce can choke on an Apple Pencil or get this far enough down to choke on it, you need to be on, like, OnlyFans, my friend, because just saying. However, so I started talking about this case because it pissed him off, and he tried to intimidate me not to, which is part of the reason I started talking about this subject to begin with. So the one person beside the two people that I will specifically name call and ridicule and will never be on my good side are Bruce and Felisa, the two people who talked about my child. You talk about my child? All pleasantries of being a respectful human being, even though I might not like your personality, go out the fucking window. So, you know, he's gonna be popular in prison if he gets that down. Yeah. Oh my goodness. All right. Oh yes, and I am still working on I have to edit that video out or that video tonight. I have to get it out. Goal is to get it out by tomorrow morning. But I'm up to 220 subscribers on the other channel, and I thank you, every single one of you. I did post a short yesterday, so Bubbles needs to pull his big boy pants up and be a real man and realize you fuck around and find out. Bless his precious little heart. Yeah, I told my dad a couple weeks ago that if I ever if I was a good Southern woman, I would just say bless your heart. But I might live in the South, but I was born a Yankee, and we just say fuck you. So, you know. All right. We're sitting outside in t-shirts in Roswell, New Mexico. Oh, my dad texts me, it's been snowing. They get like 5 to 7 inches every 2 days. But here, it was 25 degrees this morning, and it's currently 60. So we get this like freezing in the morning and hot as hell. Well, not hot as hell, but warm in the afternoon. Hey, John, how are you? Oh, no. Oh, that's the worst. All right. What the Hales chat is why there's only 76 likes with 236 people and only 76 likes. Come on. Y'all, we gotta get, we have to pull this chat over. Do we have to? Do we have to? Do we have to? All right. We're at 78 likes and 238 people. Y'all. We can do better than that. Yeah, don't make me go into mama bear mode. Oh yeah, thanks for the input there. Hey, F off in Wisconsin. Hey, Bruce, how are you? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right. And Captain Kern is here. How are you, my friend? All right. Getting into this, now that we've got our obligatory 20 minutes of BS behind us. Memorandum of law regarding motion for sanctions against a debtor plaintiff during an automatic bankruptcy stay. This memorandum of law addresses whether a motion for sanctions against a debtor plaintiff, Michelle Preston, by a defendant, Jeremy Hales, may proceed during an automatic bankruptcy stay under Florida law. The analysis concludes that such a motion may proceed because the automatic stay provisions of bankruptcy code apply only to actions against the debtor, not to actions brought by the debtor or defensive measures taken in response to the debtor's litigation. Just, sometimes it's be careful what you wish for. And if you had a lawyer, that might not be an issue. And if you had a lawyer that was worth half a damn, it really might be not be an issue. I was born and raised near Milwaukee, so we're practically neighbors. Well, not anymore, but you know. All right. Factual background. Preston is a sole plaintiff, and I believe 235 out of the 235 people watching know the factual background with this. If we don't, there's 100 channels maybe that have given you a factual background. So we're just going to skim this part. Hey, I grew up both south and west of the city. So, all right. Preston, sole plaintiff. The current case involves a situation where the debtor is the plaintiff in this state law case and is protected by an automatic bankruptcy stay. Defendant wishes to proceed with his pending motion for sanctions against the debtor. Legal standard. Automatic stay provisions of bankruptcy code are governed by 11 U.S. Code 362A, which stays a judicial proceeding against the debtor upon the filing of bankruptcy. The stay is triggered automatically when a bankruptcy petition is filed, and actions taken in violation of the stay are void even if there is no actual notice of the stay. That's an interesting statement right there. The stay is triggered automatically when a bankruptcy petition is filed, and actions taken in violation of the stay are void even if there's no actual notice. So there doesn't have to be a notice from the judge saying the case is stayed for the case to be stayed. Federal cases that hold automatic stay does not apply to an action brought by the debtor. However, Florida courts have consistently recognized the automatic stay provisions of Section 362 apply only to actions brought against a debtor. Federal cases hold that the automatic stay does not apply to an action brought by the debtor. Shaw v. Glendale Federal Bank, noting that federal circuit courts have consistently held, relying on the language of the automatic stay provision and the policy underlying it, that Section 362A1 is applicable only to actions against the debtor, not to actions brought by the debtor. The bankruptcy courts agree. The language of Section 362 refers only to actions against the debtor and does not relate to any inter-party claims, which would be this. Also, all proceedings in a single case are not lumped together for the purpose of automatic stay analysis, even if the first claim filed in a case was originally brought against the debtor. 362 does not necessarily stay all other claims in the case. Within a single case, some actions may be stayed, others not. This means that multiple claim and multiple party litigation must disaggregate. I'm surprised that came out. So that particular claims, counterclaims, cross claims, and third party claims are treated independently when determining which of their respective proceedings are subject to the bankruptcy stay. A motion for sanctions against a debtor is precisely the type of action that should be disaggregated from the main proceedings for purposes of the automatic stay analysis. Such a motion is not an attempt to recover a petition claim against the debtor, but rather a response to litigation conduct that was initiated by the debtor herself. They filed in the wrong court. There's no court for the morally and mentally bankrupt. I got nothing for that. I tortured myself and watched a bit of The Fleas and was hysterical because she's claiming that she's not stalking Jeremy and the video isn't third-party contact. See, and I from someone who does not have the mental capacity to keep up with half of the crap, that's part of the reason that I don't, is I got too much going on to pay attention, and there's too many details. I had this problem in Laura Owens' case when there was a bunch of stuff going on with Mike Maricini and this person and this person, and she said this and she did this and whatever. My brain does not have the mental capacity to follow. So, and my brain gets lost in a timeline. So I've seen Tug's Facebook occasionally. Like if it comes, I don't go searching for it, but if it comes up on like when I open my app and I see it, I'll look at it. I have absolutely no idea what the hell is going on. I know that there's some pictures and it's from their proper, but I couldn't tell you a clear picture of what the hell is going on. And that's part of the reason that I do the documents, is because the documents are what the documents are. It's not he said, she said. And also, I don't have to listen to and try to make sense of people's streams that I don't have the time, effort, or mental capacity to watch. I I don't have I don't have the brain cells to lose. Remember, I have a titanium plate in the back of my head. It's a mesh, but it's titanium. I don't like my surgeon took a piece of my skull and didn't give it back. I don't have the cognitive processes to like think about multiple things. And having a toddler, I just can't. Um I just can't. Um What? I can't name all of Laura's horses. You'll never win trivia that way. Yeah, trivia night's not really my thing. I just went to trivia night for the alcohol. Yes, and Gail, thank you for saying this. If you have a channel, please say something. We appreciate your support, and I always like to support people that have, it, yeah, that have channels. Um, you are involved in gossip. You deal with facts, receipts. I like facts and receipts because facts take a while to change. They can change. Facts are not forever, but facts take time to change. Emotions can change minute to minute. Um, you can go from being really, really happy and in a good mood and someone say something and you be pissed off. That change how you perceive things and how you treat people. Facts take just a little bit longer to evolve and change, and I like them better. Um, plus they facts generally don't care what your emotion is, what your gender is, how many friends you have, you know, how much money you have. Generally, facts don't give a shit. So it's. Oh, I am involved in gossip. I am involved in gossip. I get shit. Um, I could tell you stories, but I'm gonna let other people do it because the shit's been blowing up on the internet the last couple of days, and I've known about this shit for like months. Um, but I just try not to gossip because I let people find shit out on their own. Because if I say stuff, it's never the person who gets attacked or the person who does the attacking that's the problem in a situation. It's always the person who defends themselves. That's why I just keep my mouth shut. I defend myself once and it made people uncomfortable. So I just don't. And now other people are starting to get attacked, and people who are starting to say that they've been attacked, and other people are starting to come out of the woodwork that they've been attacked. Not saying that those people were like, but people are who you wouldn't think of as being attacked were attacked, and everybody's starting to commiserate and share their stories. And I'm like, karma takes a while. She's not instantaneous and she's not fast, but she always keeps receipts. Especially when you keep shit on the internet. Like, and hey, Jill. So it's, you know, it, you know, people always keep, yeah. This is why I'm bored with the Hales drama and enjoy your other cases. And this is why, but the thing about it is part of the reason that I keep up with this stuff is one, the only time I talk about thumbnail cases is when it's pertinent to, it's either highly dramatic and I like the way it's written, or it has something to do with the federal cases. And because this is addressing the bankruptcy stay, this has to do with the whole situation, the big picture. This is not just limited to one situation. Plus, there's a motion. The next motion is about Bubbles, and we know every time I get the chance to make fun of Bubbles, I'm gonna take it. So, you know, uh, Yes, this. There is that. But I have realized that this is 2025 and this is not just limited to them. So people are always like, "Oh, you defend them." No, I play devil's advocate. Um this is not limited to them specifically because I don't think some of their actions were great. However, in 2025, there are people who have a very hard time with keeping their mouths shut. I mean, it's 2025. People run to social media and try to play things out in the court of public opinion and on social media all the time. And I think that is a large part of the problem here. If social media wouldn't have existed, um, like it does, I don't think this would be a problem because social media, people tend not to be able to keep their mouths shut. So I'm not saying that their actions are correct or I agree with any of them. You realize on this channel, sometimes I play devil's advocate and look at the big picture of the world as a whole and not just people. Um, because, you know, it's y- if you ever been on Twitter lately, you just open it up and like you get a whole bunch of people just reposting other people's screenshots saying, "Look at this mofo." And it's like, you could have just kept on scrolling, right? Like you just sometimes you don't have to respond to something. So, it's it's not gossip, it's spilling the tea. Yeah. You know, yeah. All right. A motion for sanctions against the debtor plaintiff is precisely the action that should be disaggregated from the main proceedings. When a debtor initiates litigation as a plaintiff, she cannot use the automatic stay as both a sword and a shield. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Oh, look who's here. Spawn Trooper, I survived. I got my little I forgot to take it off. Uh, all right. All right. Pursuing its claims against others while simultaneously claiming immunity from normal consequences of litigation conduct. The automatic stay is designed to protect debtors from collections actions, not to provide them with an unfair advantage in litigation they voluntarily initiate. Yes, because remember, she started it. She started it. Mm. Uh. Well, that's always good. That's always good. I don't have to give you bail money. Uh. I think these cases should move forward because only Lynette filed bankruptcy, not everyone else to hide behind. Yes, and she remember, they might be counterclaiming and saying, "Whoa, whoa, 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 wait. You initiated this, you tried to drop it, but we already paid for attorneys, we spent time and energy on this, and you can't just file and then no, 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 that's not how this shit works." Um, so at the end of the day, she initiated this, and you can't go initiate, run, and then try to hide behind a bankruptcy. Like, that's not how shit works. Like, that's just not. I do too. Just based on the fact that you know, motion for sanctions is a defensive measure that responds to the debtor's own litigation conduct. It does not seek to collect a pre-petition debt or to exercise control over a property of the bankruptcy estate. Rather, it seeks to enforce the court's rules and maintain the integrity of the judicial process. What a fucking concept right here. Integrity of the judicial process. Where the fuck has this been for the last 3 years? Like, just where? Hold on, I have to somebody's blowing up my phone. Uh, uh, All right. Yes. Right here. If LP didn't want shit, she shouldn't have started shit. And that's the thing. It's never the person who initiates all the bullshit that's always that gets the main end of the shit. It's always the person who responds. So part of the reason, like I will make it devil's advocate. I'm not a huge fan of Jeremy. Like I'm just not. I think the facts are on his side, but like I don't have to be friends with someone to know when facts are on their side. Um, however, with that being said, um, he was responding and he's getting a lot of hate because all he did was respond to shit that was done to him. Um, trying to think of the other cases where it's not the person who initiates. Sports, football, my favorite sport. Um, football. It's never the person who initiates contact that gets the penalty. It's always the person who retaliates that gets in trouble. It's one of the reasons that after I retaliated once and then I'm like, you aren't worth my fucking time and energy because you cost me 60 subscribers. I'm not fucking dealing with you anymore. Like, you're not worth the time and effort. So like, but it's never the person who initiates and who is the instigator. It's always the person who responds. And that's part of the problem here. She's initiating shit and instigating shit and then trying to hide, saying, he's attacking me. It's like, no, bitch, no, bitch, no, bitch, no, bitch. That's not how this fucking going. No. It's just one of them situations where, and this is one of the reasons that makes this case fascinating, is this to me is a microcosm of our society right now as a whole. There's various aspects to these cases that mimic politics and mimic just society and just mimic like a Twitter feed. It's just toxic. And it's fascinating because it's like maybe we can use some of the situations that are happening here as how to change society for the better and how to do better for next time, as Jeff would say. Potty mouth squid in the house. Well, I'm a sailor. It is what it is. As such, it falls outside of the scope of the automatic stay, which refers only to actions against the debtor and does not relate to any other interparty claims. Based on the foregoing analysis, a motion for sanctions against a debtor plaintiff by a defendant may proceed during an automatic bankruptcy stay under Florida law. An automatic stay provision of the Bankruptcy Code apply only to actions brought against a debtor, not to actions brought by the debtor or defense measures taken in response to the debtor's litigation. When a debtor initiates litigation as a plaintiff, it cannot use the automatic stay to shield itself from the consequences of litigation conduct, including potential sanctions. Therefore, Florida law clearly establishes that defendant in this case may proceed with a motion for sanctions against the debtor plaintiff despite the automatic stay. I mean, and this is not a motion for sanctions. This is just a why he should be able to file a motion for sanctions. So this is I think this will be approved. I don't know, looking ahead, if Randy files an actual motion for sanctions, if it will be approved. I don't know. Not a lawyer. Don't claim to be one. And no one, unlike some people, no one has ever mistaken me for one. So, sorry. I laugh at myself every time I say that because I'm like, there are certain aspects where you're like, oh yeah, that person might be a lawyer. And when looking at Fleesa, I don't see any of those things. I was listening to the Grudge Judge hearings with LP, and it really showed what a manipulating lying witch she is. Yeah, he's also not the greatest person in the world anyway. You're not supposed to litigate from the bench. And pro se defendants do tend to get leniency because they are not lawyers. However, there is a distinct line with the judicial process of what is giving a pro se defendant leniency and helping a pro se defendant. There's a the sound is getting further away from the video again, almost 2 seconds now. Try refreshing, because that's been happening a lot on YouTube lately. That happened to a few videos that I was watching the other day, and I had to refresh the video itself. Even though it was a recorded video, it wasn't a live stream, because I'm having no issues on my end. So, all right. You know, although I did talk to I'm getting in contact with a lawyer for something completely unrelated to any of this. But he might be he's a Florida lawyer too. And he might be a contact. Shizzy pointed out some things that people missed the first time around. In regards to what? I get Shizzy's notification about the time that I'm going to bed, which is, I miss when Shizzy did his morning show before Mo, because that would be the time that I'd be able to watch him. Since he hasn't been doing that lately, I don't have the time to I got home from work last night. Mr. Squid was asleep in the little's room with her, and I got a whole king-size bed to myself. I changed clothes, grabbed a glass of wine, and put on a collagen mask and just laid there. It was great. Oh, the grudge judge hearings. I watched them back when Megan did them the first time, back when they were like not quite live, but almost. They were only like a couple of months old at the time, I think. But hypothetically, if BBB is being sanctioned, what do you think he's going to receive? Not nearly what he should. But also, there's also a difference between what we want to happen and what's going to happen. Like, there's always that difference, because we're always harsher and we always want to be harsher than what generally shit is going to happen. Are you talking about in the state cases or the federal cases? Because there's a distinct difference there too. So, yeah. We didn't necessarily miss things the first time around. We just now know so much more about the case and the actors in it. Yeah, and that's the thing about like going back and seeing old stuff, is you just have a better perspective. You sometimes have more information, like education-wise. So you're just more informed. And there is just so much stuff going on that, okay, think about when you watch a movie that you've seen before. You've seen this movie 10 times. And you start to pay attention to a different, when you're looking at a scene, instead of looking at the main character, you're looking at a supporting role. And you're like, oh, I never noticed that before. It's because there's so much going on in a situation. And when there's so much going on in a situation, your brain can only focus on one thing at a time. Like, we always talk about multitasking. By definition, there is no such thing as multitasking. Your brain can only focus on one piece of information at a time. So you're looking at this, and then you're looking at this, and then you're looking at this. So you can dual task and go back and forth between tasks, but you can't really complete two tasks at the same time. So when you're looking at a court system, or like a court hearing, or you're looking at a movie or even a document, your brain is focused on one area. That's one of the reasons that I love like having My Pretty and Spawn on sometimes, is they'll point stuff out and I'm like, I didn't notice that. It's one of the reasons I love interacting with chat, because they point out stuff in the document and I'm like, I was focused on something else. I didn't even see that. when I go back and I read it the second or third time, I'll pick up new stuff. We don't always get stuff on the we always get stuff on the right. Oh no. I just gave you a fucking fantastic idea. Check out my message that I sent you from earlier. I have a fantastic money making opportunity for you. Just, you know, if a grifter is gonna grift, I gotta grift. It's a business opportunity. I'm pointing out that if Squid reads any of my comments, she's gonna be so confused. With you, I'll just talk to you later. I'll just text you. Oh, and congratulate Captain Kern. A few weeks ago, he hit 18,000 subscribers. And if you haven't subscribed to him, what is wrong with you? You should really, really go subscribe to him. If you like anything with 3D printing, holy shit. Holy shit. Like, all right. This is the fun one. This is the longer one. Memorandum of law regarding court's authority to hear pending motions against plaintiff and against third party Bruce Matzkin while plaintiff is under bankruptcy stay. I did what? Oh, yeah, you did. You hit 18,000. I'll be lucky if I can hit 5,000. Like, maybe one day I'll make it to 5K. This memorandum authorized practice of law against a third party. Bruce Matzkin, while Michelle Preston is under automatic bankruptcy stay pursuant to 11 U.S. Code 362. Specifically, this memorandum analyzes whether the court may proceed with the motion against the third party when that motion also seeks information but not monetary relief from the plaintiff protected by the automatic bankruptcy stay. As demonstrated below, Florida law and federal bankruptcy principles establish that this court may properly hear and decide the motion against the third party, even when the motion incidentally seeks information from the bankrupt Preston. I mean, not the way I would have phrased it, but petty AF, and I'm here for it. But this is the way, in my personal opinion, and like I said, this is my opinion. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody has them. They all stink, and they're not always accurate. This is the way to be petty, but still be professional. Because technically, she did file for bankruptcy. So technically, she is claiming she's bankrupt. So to call her bankrupt is kind of an insult, but she started it. You know? Hey, screenshot this. Like, it's, you know. Hey, Cynthia. All right. Bye, Tammy. Have a great day. Let me know if you need me for mental support. Even when the motion incidentally seeks information from the bankrupt Preston, provided certain safeguards are observed to respect the boundaries of the automatic stay. Yeah, I will admit, though, when Bruce was the lawyer of record in Federal 1, he was not good at hiding it in motions, though. It was becoming very blatant, and that was what was pissing off the judge. Because that would have annoyed me, too, because there's a certain level of decorum that you have to maintain. Bruce is not good at maintaining any sort of decorum. Decorum is being respectful and nice to people, even when you don't like them. You know, and hey, Valor News. You did say some people should shut up and Bruce wasn't listening. That's true. He was a subscriber to this channel. I don't know if he still is. There's the, thank you, Annie M, for pointing out what I was hinting at. She filed for bankruptcy monetarily, but monetarily, morally, truthfully, all of the above. You know, Oh, yes, and please make sure you're still subscribed because I was told by a couple people yesterday that they all of a sudden came here. They hadn't watched my channel in a little bit. They all of a sudden came here and they were unsubscribed. You know, I don't care. And that's the thing. I don't care. Like if he is, he is. If he doesn't, if he isn't, he isn't. I I am not I don't I think it's funny when I see it, but I'm not the type of person that'll go searching for shit because I ain't got time. I haven't even researched the shit that I need to research because I'm behind, um, and tired. Like, cool. I got nothing to say to that, sorry. I love Shizzy, but I got nothing to say to that. Like, I don't know what to I I don't know. Uh, uh. See, and I strive for that. I strive for that. My mom was in HR and her nickname was Attila the Honey because she had this trait to be petty in the most professional way. That is what I strive for. But I have a thing. I have a that's the thing. Like I don't want to be petty. I want to be petty in like the sarcastic, humorous, like funny way. I don't want to be petty in the bitchy way, but I can be unintentionally. And I was talking to a couple people today about a fiscal plan I had to increase my another revenue stream so that because the goal with these channels is this is what I want to do for my job. So I don't want to be a millionaire. I just want to make enough money where I don't have to go get a 9 to 5 when the little goes to school. So if she calls in or if she needs to stay home sick from school one day, I don't have to call my boss and say I can't come into work today. I I'm having a really bad pain day. I'm having a migraine. I can't come into work today. I don't ever want to have to do that again. So I'm not trying to be a millionaire. I'm just trying to be have enough money to where it would replace a 9 to 5 job. That's all. Um with that being said, I'm trying to diversify my monetary stream, revenue streams. The merch. I have a Amazon storefront. I'm starting to do my link tree and starting to do face to face and one-on-ones with people. Yes, they're free for now, but I'm hoping to start an LLC where I can start virtually training people for corrective exercise. I'm trying to replace and work for myself. The interesting thing about that is I had a very petty idea today. It would have made me a shit ton of money, but I don't want to be that petty. Yes, comfortable. I don't ever want to have to be I called in sick like 30 times using PTO and what is that freaking sick the FMLA for my condition in 2019. I don't ever want to have to do that again. So, I don't ever want to have to do that again. So, I love Shizzy. I watched Shizzy before he ever started covering this case. And that's yeah. Oh no, got shit news at the hospital today. Oh no. Oh no. If you need anything, just email me. You know where to find me. Uh so I yes, and there's my second channel. It's on my link tree. I started to try to make things a little more official and not just get on here and complain. My second channel is up to 220 subscribers. Maybe we will be monetized by like my birthday next year. Maybe. Um that I'm getting very picky about the things I upload on that channel because it's my heart and soul. Um See, and Shizzy's a very creative person. I am very analytical. I am a very my background is in medicine. Like my background is in rehab and occupational therapy. I'm a very I see everything as a puzzle. So, you know, so it's the labor of love. That's the other channel. I would love the other channel to be popular and because I think it helps more people. Um, this one is my petty side, and we laugh and we discuss things and we talk about cases and things that impact the world. But that one I think can help people, like individual people. Um, I what's my second channel? It is Evidence Through Motion. Um, I am a corrective exercise specialist, a certified occupational therapist, and a certified lymphedema therapist. So I am because I no longer want to work in big medicine. It's my goal to, you know, try to work on stuff like that. We're doing a 5-week fall prevention. Um, thank you. The two channels are a good combination. Yeah, it's petty and professional. This one's petty. That one's professional. Yeah. True. That is unfortunate. It is unfortunate, but you know. All right. Upon information and belief, Matzkin is not bankrupt. Uh, is there a box? A box. Okay, y'all. I will be right back. There is a box outside, and if I don't go get this box now, somebody is going to see. This is what happens. She gets. I will. We will be right back. So, all right. We're not going anywhere, Angel. We're just going to take a quick break while I go get this box from the front porch before my little loses it. So I will be back in a hot minute. I appreciate your patience. Hopefully this is not broken. I got tree topper. And yes, it's black like my heart. She's mad because there's kids outside. The neighbors are outside and she wants to go play with them. So, yes, it's good. Got to get that box so the little one will pester her. Yeah. All right. And I'm sorry, I forgot to upload my hold music to this profile. And Hazel Montiango, thanks for becoming a new YouTube member. Welcome to Tentacle Nation. It's weird in here, but it's fun. We're a crazy bunch. Slightly. All right. let me get back to this crazy motion. Upon information and belief, Matzkin is not in bankruptcy, but he is bankrupt, and therefore not protected by an automatic stay. He's not even a party in this case. The pending motion before the court is directed primarily against Matzkin, seeking an order finding that 1, Matzkin is not licensed to practice law in Florida and has not been admitted pro hoc vice in this matter. 2, that Matzkin has engaged in communications with the court and parties in the case, including emails dated October 6th, October 7th, and October 9th of 2025, which constitute the unauthorized practice of law in violations of the rules regulating the Florida bar. And 3, that all communications, including emails and any legal documents, sent or prepared by Matzkin in this case are hereby stricken from the record. Oh, Randy, almost. 4, this is supposed to be 4, that Matzkin is admonished for engaging in the unauthorized practice of law without proper admission to the Florida bar or pro hoc vice admission in this case. This should be 5, that Matzkin is enjoined from further communications with the court or parties in this case until properly admitted pro hoc vice pursuant to Rule 1.2 of the Florida Rules of General Practice and Judicial Administration, or associated with Florida counsel who actively participates in the matter. 6, that Preston is ordered to identify the name of any non-licensed Florida attorney who drafts the paperwork on her behalf, which is then submitted to the court in the future. And that's 7. Oh, Randy, you were so close. That the court reserves jurisdiction to enforce the terms of this order and to consider any further appropriate relief. No, I will show you a picture of my tree, but my tree has black on it. So when we're done with this motion, I will show you a picture of my tree. We could see Lynette doing that from the day we discovered Matzkin's a goof. You know, and I do love a good flocked tree. I'm not going to lie. But as part of this motion, information is also sought from Preston regarding the identity of any non-licensed Florida attorney who drafted paperwork on her behalf, which is submitted to the court. The information is necessary to properly address the unauthorized practice of law in Florida without proper admission to the Florida bar or pro hoc vice, which relates to directly to the claims against Matzkin. If he had not emailed the court, ex parte communications with the court, who was helping her write these motions would have never been an issue. At least in my opinion. Because according to what we read, and on like a month ago on Tuesday's show with Spawn and My Pretty, we had gone through the rules and tried to find ghostwriting anything. And you do not have to put the name of the lawyer. However, when, in my opinion, he emailed the court, it now became relevant. You know, it now becomes relevant. If he would have never emailed and he would have just kept his mouth shut. And that's the thing. Sometimes all you got to do is keep your damn mouth shut. It's not hard. It's really not. All you got to do is keep your mouth shut. And things would go so much easier for not only you, but your clients and your friends and any of that. However, he chose not to. Yeah, that's the thing. When he emailed, he now interjected himself. Who was helping her write these motions is now relevant. Hey, Thursday, thanks for being a member for 4 months. 3% in my left eye. 3% left or 3% down? Yeah, if he would have just there, like we always talk about on this channel, there is a difference between what we think we know and what you can actually prove to a court. However, when you email the court, you provide as much evidence as just you just throw yourself in there, and it's like you didn't have to. Everyone has the right to remain silent, but many don't have the ability. Okay, Ron White. Uh, I'm jealous. Chocolate chip cookies done, banana bread in the oven, working on carrot cake while listening. I did a 19-hour fast today. He can't keep his mouth shut because it all drives him crazy. They're all laughing at us. And that's the thing. Sometimes you just have to let your pride just go. Like, you can't let your pride get in the way. And that's the thing when, like, you have to say at a certain point, so what? What their opinion doesn't matter. Like, when certain people were talking shit about me, um, when I close my computer, well, even when I have my computer on, those people's opinions don't matter. Mr. Squid, the minute I started letting it get to me, I had a conversation with him, and he's a very he's a man of few words for one, and second, he's a man of few emotions. um, secondly, the people who have spoken to him can attest to that. However, his words to me resonate. They were so simple, but they were like, "Why do you care?" I don't. I don't. At the end of the day, someone else's opinion, especially someone that I have never actually met, doesn't really make a huge difference. Do I like when people in my chat are getting along with me and like we like each other and we're one big happy family? Of course. But there's 360 million people in this country ish. I have people watching from around the world. There are people watching this case and other cases that I cover from around the world. We're not all going to like each other. And guess what? People are going to talk shit because that is what people do. So when you start letting people's opinions, who you have never met, get to you and start affecting your ability to stay professional, that's when it's like you need to take a step back. Like, Devil Dog Cody between takes. Hi, gotta go. Bye. Bye. It's just one of yes, this right here. And no one would be laughing if they hadn't done all this stupid shit. There's that too. Bruce is so jealous of Larry, Megan, Jeremy, among others. That's why you can't shut up. I mean, yeah. And by the way, like, YouTube's been weird lately. If you feel like your chats are being hidden, 99.9%, it's not my mods. Um, it's YouTube. I don't like you, Squid. I'm here for baby squid studies. Well, thanks for the ad revenue. Oh, you're my neighbor. You can't do that. Hey, Heather. Uh, did Bruce have any basis for going after Larry? No, not that I could see. No, I have to email that court clerk and see if I can get those documents because I don't have access to them. Um, I get along with certain people. I just don't ask them for documents because, like, that I'm just not. It's not my place. Like, it if they want to send me stuff, great, but I'm not the type to go like, you know, I'm not the type to go and ask. Um, so, you know, it's just a I don't know. I don't know. I've never been that type though. Like that's why it was one of the reasons I get all the documents for every case. Like someone sent me screenshots of this and I still went to Levy County's website and got it myself. Not that I didn't trust that person that they sent me this document. It's like I just need to see the docket for myself to process everything. So like I just ugh. Oh yeah, that macaroni and cheese. That's why he went after Larry. I totally forgot about that. That was so long ago, man. Like, oh. Yeah. Oh yes, this too. You need to also be in all chat. Yes, YouTube, especially when you refresh or sometimes even when you come back from an ad, um, it will put you back in top chat and you can't see some stuff. And that, yeah, people have gotten mad at me because I haven't responded to them in chats. And it's like, oops, sorry, I was on top chat. I didn't even see you. My bad. Yeah, I understand that. I don't ask for anything more than spiritual thoughts and prayers. I'm very independent. Yeah, and I just don't like to be a bother. It's one of the reasons that I don't try to collaborate with a lot of people is because I don't like to bug people. And I always I don't know what people's schedules are. And I'm like, yeah. Yeah. Well, we all know the one time Bruce reached out to me, how that worked out for him. You can go back and refer to Tug's videos if they're still up. You know, I wonder if the judge rules against BBB, there would be grounds to go after BBB's communication to Dan Owens and Levy County sheriffs. I don't know, but it would be worth the attempt. I've been around Expert too long. Which part? Expert gave me very sound advice when I had like 50 subscribers, and I have that advice he gave me when I had about 50 subscribers when he had me on his channel for the first time and quite frankly the last time. It's it's one of those situations where I don't there's just certain things that I will not do on my channel because of what the expert told me. Oh yeah, top chat and squirrel moments. I really like how kind and considerate you are. I have my moments. I am not always that way. Yep, nope. But I appreciate that. Yeah, well, no offense, and this is nothing personal against Jay. Jay also gets pushed for people to subscribe to him. I don't. You don't ever really hear anybody on their channels telling people to go subscribe to me, except for Spawn and My Pretty. So, and the expert. So, like, no offense, but that's okay because I like it that way. Because I would rather. I'm just me. Plus, I would rather have people go subscribe to my new channel than this channel. For that. Importantly, the motion does not seek monetary relief or judgment against Preston, but only information relevant to the proceedings against the non-bankrupt third party. I understand why he puts it in there as far as it's oh, she makes her appearance. Known every now and then. Kind of calm down a little bit. Oh yes, you did. You did. I remember that. Appreciate that. It's I appreciate this level of like I understand twofold why he's doing it because he's reinforcing to the judge that Bruce Matzkin is not a party in this case and has not filed for bankruptcy, but he's always like not bankrupt, morally bankrupt, but you know, you know, uh, you know, uh, all right. The information requested from Preston consists of the identity of any non-licensed Florida attorneys who drafted paperwork on her behalf, which was submitted to the court. Could this be a certain could this be a certain lips? Or is she too busy going off the deep end with something else? you know, uh, which is directly relevant to determining Matzkin's culpability in this matter. But I'm thinking Bruce Matzkin, this should be interesting right here, because if she provides information and she provides accurate information, which is always the kicker in that someone can give you information, but whether they give you accurate information and they're being truthful is yeah, yeah, um, is another thing. For this, how long will I think it will take for the bankruptcy? There is a meeting, another creditor meeting scheduled on the 22nd, um, at I think 11 a.m. So I think it has till that, and then I think because there was a note in there that saying the paperwork was filed wrong again, and it still hasn't been corrected. Yeah. Oh, yes. Everybody pray for the expert. Just don't ask and how he's doing, because I know he's kind of sick of people asking how he's doing, but just pray for him and know that he's just having a time. I'm retired Coast Guard with 25 years of service. I enjoy your streams and how thorough you are going through cases. I like the documents because I feel like in the world of the legal world, you get like highlights, and even people, um, the documents can be boring sometimes, but they're important. I was going through a case with somebody and we were reading through jury instructions, and reading through the jury instructions, we figured out, or I figured out, I had a revelation of just how important jury instructions are. Even though they are quite possibly the most boring documents to read, they are one of the most important because they determine how the jury sees the charges or the situation that is being presented to them. So it's also one of those things of the documents are what the judge sees. And the court of public opinion is very good for clicks and ad revenue, and mainstream media like makes a lot of money off of how many people click and subscribe and share their videos and talk about it. But the court of public opinion at the end of the day really doesn't mean a whole lot of shit. The only place the court of public opinion might mean anything is the ballot box. But you know I was 5 years Navy, so I get that. I was an AT, so I get that. Uh, but this information, if she gives accurate information, this might tell Randy a lot more, um, which could be interesting. Because I also learned something. Is I'm not a lawyer at all. But if I were to be a lawyer and I were to want to phrase something and figure out how to ask a question to get the exact information, I would ask a child, because a child will just answer the question that you are asking and will not read anything into it. For example, today I asked the little what she was watching. So an adult would take that as go, "Oh, I'm watching the TV. What show am I watching?" Right? You'd say, "You're obviously watching TV." So like the little answered, "TV." I said, "What are you watching?" She goes, "TV." So now anytime I'm eliciting information from someone, I'm going to be very specific with the questions that I'm asking, because I'm going to ask the question like I'm asking a toddler, because you have to ask a very specific question to elicit the exact information that you want, which is a very good insight to how documents are written. You are writing a certain way to elicit a certain response and elicit certain information. Um it's 7 p.m. UK time. Oh, thank you. Chief. It was AT2. There's an AT1 that hangs out in here. There's also an AD2 that hangs out in here. So you're in good company. All right. Preston has not objected to providing this information other than citing the protection of the automatic bankruptcy stay, hiding behind that shield while trying to use a sword. Matzkin has not taken any position, nor has he responded since this motion was filed October 23rd, 2025. Yeah, I completely forgot about this. K-pop Demon Hunters. She was actually watching something that I'd never heard of, but we did watch K-pop Demon Hunters twice today. Just, hey, how's the future? Yes, words matter. Yes. Oh, TM2. Oh, you old. Do they still have TMs? That's a discussion for another day. We already derail enough on this. No relief from the automatic stay has been sought from or granted by the bankruptcy court at this time. This court must now determine whether it can proceed with the motion against Matzkin while Preston remains under bankruptcy protection and whether the request for information from Preston violates the automatic stay. I have a lot of military men and women in my family. Most of them are Marines, so there's a bit of crazy. Did you buy them an extra large box of crayons for Christmas? There's a few Marines that hang out in here too. Oh, it's fine. I have derailed merch for a reason. I have literally have derailed merch because I know how I am. I had brain surgery thanks to the VA. So we have a attention span problem. But I fully admit it. I have an attention span problem. Oh my god, the fucking grass. Someone made me a picture one time that said edible undergarments for Marines, and it was a bra made out of crayons. At least I cannot be blamed for tonight's derailment. So there. Yes, that was you yesterday. Crayons and butter knives. Oh boy. I love my Marines though. They're fun. The court has authority to hear and rule on the motions against Matzkin despite the automatic bankruptcy stay protecting Preston for 3 reasons. I mean, I can think of 3 obvious reasons. 1, Matzkin's not a case. 2, ex parte communications with the judge. 3, he's not filing for bankruptcy. Let's see if we're right. Like, oh my goodness. The Marines are good enough, and good enough is the enemy of the best, according to the Marines. Yeah, that's the thing. I make fun of Marines on this channel, but if anybody who's not military makes fun of my Marine buddies or my Chair Force buddies or whatever, I still, you know, we still fight. First, the automatic bankruptcy stay under 11 U.S. Code 362 applies only to the debtor and not to non-debtor third parties. Florida courts have consistently held that bankruptcy stays do not affect the proceedings against parties who are not in bankruptcy, absent unusual circumstances that are not present here. Second, seeking information from a debtor under bankruptcy protection may be permissible if done not unduly burden to the debtor or interfere with bankruptcy proceedings. When information is sought primarily to advance claims against third parties, does not substantially burden the debtor's reorganization efforts, and does not implicate property of the estate, such requests may be permissible under Florida law. Third, this court has several procedural options for handling this situation, including bifurcating the proceedings, limiting the scope of the motion, conditioning orders on bankruptcy court approval, or tailoring discovery requests to minimize any potential burden on the debtor. I I mean, uh, that's true. Uh, the automatic bankruptcy stay generally applies to the debtor, only applies to the debtor. General rule under 11 U.S. Code 362, the filing of a bankruptcy petition imposes an automatic stay under the U.S. Bankruptcy Code 362. This automatic stay is a fundamental protection provided to debtors in bankruptcy proceedings. However, the scope of this protection is limited by the express language of the statute. The automatic stay provision of the Bankruptcy Code, 11 U.S. Code 362A, stays the proceedings only against the debtor, not against non-debtor third parties or parties. Florida courts have consistently recognized that although the scope of the automatic stay under 362 is broad, the clear language of 362A stays action only against a debtor. The language of 362 refers only to actions against the debtor and does not relate to any interparty claims. Yes, you can't sue somebody and then hide behind, oh, I filed for bankruptcy when you're attacked. Mm-mm, mm-mm-mm. Uh, you know I love you guys. You know I love you guys. Uh, yeah, bottom line is when you want shit to get done, no matter what, you send in the Marines, and I thank them for that. Yep, muscles are required, intelligence not expected. They get shit done. They get shit done. Kind of funny watching them get shit done, but they get shit done. Florida case law on the scope of the automatic stay. Actions against non-debtor third parties may proceed. Florida courts have repeatedly held bankruptcy stays do not affect proceedings against anyone not in bankruptcy. The principle cited in Pugh was also affirmed by the Florida Supreme Court. Generally, the protections of the automatic stay do not apply to a party not in bankruptcy. Similarly, in 2018, the 3rd District held that although the scope of the automatic stay under Section 362 is broad, the clear language of 362A stays actions only against a debtor. The language of 362 refers only to actions against the debtor and does not relate to any other interparty claims. Here, the bankruptcy stay could not affect the proceedings supplementary to Notes' co-defendant, P&S, because P&S was not a debtor under the bankruptcy code. The third-party defendants were properly impleaded based on the allegations against P&S. This clearly demonstrates that the proceedings against a non-debtor third party may continue despite the automatic stay protecting a co-defendant, which is why in Federal 2, everybody else is still continuing on, and the only person who it is stayed in reference to is Lynette. Using that language just to broaden it out. Hi, Viking lady. Yeah, chilly and snowy central Minnesota. You can keep that up there. I am originally from southeastern Wisconsin, Milwaukee area. I live in Georgia for reasons such as what you described there. I will pass on this snow. Like, but welcome to the channel. It's weird in here. It's petty, but we're fun. We're fun. Disaggregation of claims within a single case. It is important to note that all proceedings in a single case are not treated as a unified whole for purposes of an automatic stay analysis. Even if the first claim filed in the case was originally brought against the debtor, which is not even the case here, because remember, this was her fault. This was her. 11 U.S. Code 362 does not necessarily stay all other claims in the case. Within a single case, some actions may be stayed, others not. Courts recognize that multiple claim and multiple party litigation must be disaggregated so that particular claims, counterclaims, cross claims, and third party claims are treated independently when determining which of their respective proceedings are subject to the bankruptcy stay. The little took my water and ran like normal. This means that within one case, actions against a debtor will be suspended even though closely related claims asserted by the debtor may continue. The unusual circumstances exception. I haven't even read this, and unusual circumstances. This case is just a walking unusual circumstance. The court in Pugh authorized courts to, quote, extend the automatic stay to non-bankrupt co-defendants only in unusual circumstances. Such unusual circumstances exist when there is such an identity between the debtor and the third party that the debtor may be said to be the real party, and that a judgment against the third party will in effect be a judgment or finding against the debtor, such as Federal 1. That's the reason that Federal 1, relating this case law back to the big picture. This is why Federal 1 has stayed for everybody, because John and Lynette are so intertwined that trying to have proceedings against one continue while one is stayed is just confusing and a waste of time. A critical consideration is whether the request information constitutes property of the estate under bankruptcy law. Florida courts have recognized that the automatic stay operates to enjoin a creditor from attempting to possess or exercise control over a property of a bankruptcy estate. However, not all information requests necessarily implicate property of the estate, particularly when the information sought is primarily relevant to claims against third parties. The purpose behind the information request is also relevant. When information is sought primarily to advance the claims against third parties, rather than to build a case against the debtor, courts are more inclined to permit this discovery. He brings up a really good point. This is, even though I'm getting distracted by chat and among other things, this is a relatively easy read. He's not going overly into the case law, but he's bringing up the case law, which I can appreciate because there are some where he hasn't. The automatic stay is applicable only to actions against the debtor, not to actions brought by the debtor. Sorry, you sued them, and now you're trying to hide. That's not how this shit works. The approach aligns with the principle that the automatic stay is only applicable to actions against the debtor, not to actions brought by the debtor, as in this case, where the debtor is the plaintiff. Federal case holds that the automatic stay does not apply to an action brought by the debtor. Federal circuit courts have consistently held, relying on the language of the automatic stay provision and the policy underlying it, that Section 362A1 is applicable only to actions against the debtor, not actions brought by the debtor. The bankruptcy courts agree. Application to the present case. In determining whether seeking information from Preston violates the automatic stay, this court should consider several factors. Whether the information requested is directed primarily at advancing claims against Matzkin rather than Preston. Whether providing the information would substantially burden Preston's reorganization efforts. Whether the information constitutes property of the estate. And whether the information request is merely incidental to proceedings against Matzkin. If the information request is narrowly tailored, does not substantially burden Preston, and is primarily relevant to claims against Matzkin. What would you like? I don't know what that is. Can you go get a snack and bring it here? No. Okay. Sorry, guys. I don't. Uh, it is permissible without violating the automatic stay. This request meets all of the above criteria to allow the information request to move forward. I mean, this is pretty compelling. Uh, uh. uh. Based on the foregoing analysis of Florida law and federal bankruptcy principles, this court has the authority to hear and rule on the motion against Matzkin despite Preston's bankruptcy stay. The automatic stay provision of 11 U.S. Code 362A apply only to the debtor and not to the non-debtor third parties, absent unusual circumstances that are not present here. Moreover, the automatic stay does not apply to an action brought by the debtor, such as this case where Preston is the sole plaintiff. Florida law clearly establishes that this court may proceed with the motion against Matzkin as outlined in this memorandum. Hopefully, the judge is like, yeah, I totally agree with that. I'm hoping he will. I think he will. Because he's not asking for sanctions. He's asking for the court's permission to question Preston and also to look at what is going on and be like, yeah, I can legally do stuff. It's hard with a stay because most of the time judges are like, it's a stay, I'm not touching shit. Such as in federal one, the judge is like, I'm not touching shit. So, I wonder if some people even know what happens when a case is on automatic stay. No. Hey, Tree God. Hey, Lindy. Hey, Joe. Yeah, there's the little cutie. Yeah, she's doing her own thing. She's doing her own thing. But we have 295 people here and only 213 likes. Can we bump that up? Can we bump that up to maybe 250? Maybe even 300 because we have 301 people here. And I know there's probably going to be 5 dislikes because I always get 2 or 3 because I know who you are. You claim to hate me, yet you watch everything I do. And because shit's blown up in your face in the last 3 days, you're even more hateful of me thinking that I had something to do with it. And sometimes your own actions just come back to bite you. Do you ever notice that Karma is a slow bitch, but she does keep receipts. So she's slow on the uptake, but she does keep receipts. So that's one of the things where it's all you Hale supporters that are wanting things to move faster than they are. I get it, but just remember karma does come back to get people, but sometimes patience is a virtue. And I know it sucks because we always want things to happen. We live in a society of instant gratification. And unfortunately, our society wants instant gratification, but the legal system, especially, is not instant gratification. You will never, ever get instant gratification in our legal system. It's never going to happen. If you kind of get that instant gratification, I want results now mentality out of your brain, life gets a lot easier and we stop trying to you know what I mean? You don't take shit as personally because you realize that it's just not gonna happen. I am looking up something on the on federal too because I want to see if that document that was filed yesterday or a couple days ago or whenever I read it, Monday in federal 1 was filed in federal 2 and it's not. So, yeah, the justice system is slow. What do you need, baby? Did you hit your toe? Did you stub your toe? Sorry. It's okay. Can I kick it and make it better? No. Stop yourself. With the ice? No. You want to go get a piece of ice? Yeah. Okay, go get a piece of ice. Bring it here. Mommy, put it on your foot, okay? Okay. Yeah, some people never learn. Just like the little, she's told to slow down because you're gonna hurt yourself, and she doesn't slow down and she stubs her foot or hits her face or she does something. And it's like, I love you, girl, but we're in the find out portion of the FAFO equation. We will get there in these cases eventually. But remember, these judges that are handling these cases have time frames for when they're allowed, like they have certain time frames for how many days they're allowed to take to respond to things. Um also, um these judges, this is not their only case. So when you think of like, oh, he's had that for a week, he should respond. Is he in trial? Is this particular judge in trial? Has he had hearings for other cases? How many cases does he have on his docket right now? And I say he because all the judges in Levy County are men. For like or for better or for worse, it is what it is. Um, it it is what it is. However, with that being said, we have to think about all of these situations when talking about how quickly a judge is is responding and how they are responding. Um, we want, like yesterday, um, Judge Belatho, he responded very quickly because it was a procedural issue. His clerk probably saw that motion and said something's been filed in federal one, it's on a stay, and he had that order filed. It was probably written by his clerk and he just signed it. So when people are like, "Oh, well, he was quick to respond to this, but he's not quick to respond to this." Well, it was a procedural issue. It was easy, something to take care of. You have to put things in perspective when you think about what they're responding to. Um, because I know there was a couple people specifically who I saw who were very, very upset that he responded so quickly to that motion. Even though it worked out in our favor and it was struck down, it was a procedural issue. His clerk probably told him, "You don't even need to read this. It's not worth your time to read it. The case is on a stay." And he signed it immediately because it's instead of having to look up case law and type an order and figure out how the case law fits and who needs to respond and how much time they have to respond and if there's precedent. All he said was, "This isn't a procedural issue. Here you go." So it's it's one of those situations where we need to look at the bigger picture before we start running our mouths and using our hearts and getting upset about things. So it's, have a good night. Laura Owens' case no longer going to trial in January. Yeah, I heard that something about that was a possibility. So it was like, yeah. Yeah, they will definitely refile that stupid motion. I don't think it's gonna work then either. However, it's kind of one of those situations of I did see a couple of comments from people about who were very upset that the judge can respond to that so quickly but can't respond to other things. And it was like, well, you have to put it in perspective of what that is. He's probably like, stay, not happening, no bueno, done. He didn't even have to think. Good. I don't see you in this good pro. I'm republishing that video. I forgot about the background music. Also, if you ever publish it, I'll send it to you. So you sent me something. I didn't lurking. I just sent Let's see. I think I saw this. Oh, yeah, I did see that. The If you haven't seen, Valor News had a video 3 months ago, because I liked it. I know because I can't watch it again because I liked it. Don't copyright strike me because I showed it. Um, but it's a gator skin Bobby demolition derby. If you haven't checked it out, do it. Um, Gail, can you put Valor news parodies in the you will get a copyright. You mean? Because that video only has 116 views, and I think it needs like 500, like today. So, you know, yeah, I think so too. That the lawyer up there doing a little research on him, I don't think he is awful or ambulance chaser as everybody is making him out to be. He just seems like your typical lawyer who advertises on billboards, which if we really want to be petty about it or we really want to like do do something like that, like I know a lot of lawyers who do that even on their own channels, and I love some of these people. So when we see someone call someone an ambulance chaser, you remember these lawyers also need to make money. Um, and not every lawyer, although I am not a fan of lawyers, trust me, you can ask my parents. Um, uh, uh, it's it, these lawyers sometimes take cases without getting realizing what they're getting into, and I think that's the case. But once again, I haven't paid a lot of attention to details because we just don't have the time. I'm about to go cook dinner and then start to start to what the hell am I doing? Start to edit my video cuz I recorded it 2 days ago. I just haven't had the time to edit cuz if you did check out my live on my other stream on Sunday nights, on the other channel I do post a short and one live a week or one video a week and then we kind of talk about that video and answer questions and things like that on Sunday nights. Well, on Sunday night I went and I'd started doing my live and I wasn't feeling the greatest, but it was okay. Um, and then all of a sudden, like sh- just as fast as she hurt herself, she's fine because she's not crying, and I didn't even hear the um freezer door open. So just as quickly as she hurts herself, she's she's fine. Um, but my other channel, I I had an episode on my other channel of um I had an episode on my other channel where got I had to quit early on Sunday night because I was not feeling well. So it's been kind of a weird week, but this is my other channel. So it's there's not a lot on it quite yet, but I am waiting for the first live stream where we get um you know a couple 100 people. I would love. I didn't. I didn't. Um but I will be doing more once a week I do a live called movement minute where we just go through one exercise that you can do that week to improve your posture, reduce your fall risk, increase your strength, and how that translates over to functional movement. Like this was yesterday's, and I promise I won't copyright strike myself. This was filmed right here yesterday in really bad lighting and not even edited. There's no editing in this video whatsoever. See, we did scapular. The only thing that is edited is I have eyelashes. I added eyelashes to myself because you even with mascara, you can't see nothing. So I added eyelashes. Uh, yeah, I doubt he spoke to his client much, if at all. BBB recruit, possibly his head filled with BBB nonsense and went with it. Yeah, because that's the thing too. As a lawyer, you generally trust other lawyers. Uh, can't tell how long Scott and Leonard are apparently on their way to my house to arrest me for funding criminals. How ridiculous, and yet some of you folks actually believe it. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't heard that, but once again, I'm out of the loop. Um, oh wow, eyelashes look really good. That's the only thing that's edited in that video is my I added eyelashes because that I look like I have eyes. Why why would a lawyer believe another lawyer? They should know the best. Yeah. If you want a good laugh, check out MG's stream last night. Besides being able to drive on water, he drove off the edge of the earth and wound up in the void. He broke the game. Oh, good lord. Oh, good lord. All right. Well, y'all have a great night. I have to go cook dinner now. I have to go figure out what I'm gonna cook. Um, but that is my other channel. It is more on the um professional side. It is my career. It is what I went to college for. It is it's just me. But we have 250 likes. So we did all right. Thanks, guys. Um, I'm going to see who I can refresh or refresh. What the redirect? Good lord, woman. I think Mo in the Deep End is still live. Yes, Mo in the Deep End is still doing the Brian Walsh trial. I hope she's not at the very end of it like she was yesterday. But y'all have a great day, and I will see you guys on the next one. And let me just make sure that's saved because for some reason I've had a problem with it not saving. There we go. I will see you guys tomorrow with any updates on this, and we will talk about something else. Later, guys.